Okay, boys and girls, we are going to paint our pumpkin picture now that we have drawn all of our shapes. So let's remember how we use our watercolor paint. We have our paint tray, we have our water cup with our small brushes inside, and we need to start by dipping in our water and then dipping in the first color that we want and swishing our brush around. Remember, the water makes the paint work. We need the water to make the paint work. So now that I have a little bit of paint on my brush, I'm gonna start by painting the grass around my pumpkins. Now when I paint the grass around my pumpkins, I really want to make sure I'm going around each of these pumpkins. I wanna paint my pumpkins orange, so I don't wanna run into the pumpkins with the green. I wanna try and go around the pumpkins. If I run out of color, my brush is running out a little bit, I need to dip in my water, dip in my paint again, and keep painting around each of my pumpkins. Dip in my paint again, keep painting around my pumpkins. Notice how I'm going back and forth, nice and smooth, big, long strokes of paint. Okay, I'm gonna keep continuing to paint my ground where all the pumpkins are sitting on the grass here around each of the pumpkins in the tree. Now let's pretend I painted all of my grass. I'm going to paint my sky next. So I think I want my sky to be kind of a spooky, dark sky at nighttime. So I'm gonna start with blue and swish my brush around with the water to get the paint working. And I'm going to go and start at the grass and go around my pumpkins, around the stems here. But I think what I'm also going to do is I'm going to mix a little bit of purple into this blue to make the sky look a little bit darker at nighttime. So I'll wash my brush off, swish in the purple a little bit, and then I can move my paintbrush around in a circle so that I can mix up the purple and the blue, and that'll create a nice dark blue sky, or a dark purple sky. Okay, dip back in my blue and keep painting around my pumpkins. And I'll keep mixing a little bit of purple into that blue to make a dark sky. Okay, you might be noticing that I'm painting over my vines. That's okay. Because we used a crayon, the crayon is very waxy and the water paint is very watery. So you can paint over some of those little details and you'll still be able to see them underneath the watercolor paint. The watercolor paint is so clear and it's not very thick, so we can paint over a couple of those little details. See how I can still see the dark bats underneath? That's because I'm using enough water in my paint. And I'm really smoothing it out. And I'm mixing it, long brush strokes. If you can't see some of your details underneath your paint, you might want to take your water and just dip your paintbrush in your water and then just take some water and smooth out your paint a little bit. Okay, let's pretend I painted all the grass and all the sky. I need to finally paint my other details like my pumpkins. So I'll wash my brush off all the way, swish in my orange color, and I can paint right over the eyes and the mouth for this because we used a crayon. And we're using light watercolor paint. So see how I can still see the mouth? The paint kind of separates with the crayon. I might need to spread the paint out a little bit more with my water. There we go. Okay, I'll paint all my pumpkins. Even the small little ones. Okay, if I painted my entire picture, I will know I'm done because I don't have any more white spaces. So it looks like I still have some painting left to go with my pumpkins and my grass and my sky.